$1 million. How exactly does that look like inside of an ad account? Well, I want to show you in today's video a $100,000 a month ad account that I was auditing not too long ago for an e-commerce brand that came to us, wanted to partner with us at the ad agency. And so I want to give you the chance to follow along over my shoulder, see me auditing the account, give you my thoughts in real time and what I would then go back and tell said clients in order to improve their business. So if you're new to the channel, you don't yet know who I am, my name is Justin Lalonde, and I'm the founder at pitadvertising.com, where on the one hand, we help businesses implement a scalable ad engine, and on the other, we grow e-com and info businesses to multi-7 figures with paid ads. In the last 12 months, we've profitably spent and advised on over $15 million in ad spend, and let's get straight into today's video. So here I am on this prospect ad account. Now, it hasn't been performing too well lately. In fact, this prospect has just sold his business to a new buyer. And now he's transitioning the new buyer inside of the account and wanted me to take a look at it in order to perhaps partner with this new buyer. Now, the thing is, this account used to be doing much better in late Q4 last year and early Q1, and now it's just really plummeted throughout the start of the year. And now they want to get results back to an all-time high. So I've made my columns. The columns I typically use in an ad account audit are the ones that you see on screen. So I do reach, link clicks, CPMs. Pretty simple. I mean, I just want to see what's at the top of my funnel. So how many people do I push through the funnel? Click-through rate all tells me how engaging an ad is. Outbound click-through rate, how much people do I actually send to my website? Landing page views, add to cart, checkout, purchases, sales, amount spent, ROAS, frequency, and then the following here are custom metrics that I make for myself. So hook rate, which as you can see right here, I do 3-second video plays divided by reach. Then I got hold rate, which is 100% video play divided by reach. Conversion rate right here, so purchases divided by landing page views. And finally, average order value, which is my amount in sales divided by my total amount of purchases. So at a glance right here, here's what seems good. Here's what seems bad. So as an overall account average, now I could look into the actual campaigns in themselves, but very healthy CPM, no anomalies right here. I mean, when I look at it, I can now look into the campaigns in themselves. I have one for France, one for the UK, one for the US right here. Of course, France is always going to have the lowest CPM. It's normal. It's a less competitive market. So again, that goes without saying. UK, of course, going to be lower than the US. US is always going to have the highest CPM overall. Click-through rate right here, virtually again, highest in the US, lowest in France, so inversely to the actual CPM. Funnily enough, what that simply tells me is that I'm probably reaching a more top-of-funnel audience in France than I am in the US, because a low CPM and a low click-through rate probably tells me I'm reaching people who haven't yet heard about me. And so it's kind of hard to get them to trust or get that first click through the door. Whereas having a higher CPM and a higher click-through rate, well, that usually means I have a smaller audience. So it might be more of a product aware or lower in the funnel audience, and therefore they interact more with my ads. So to keep on going right here. Now, this is very healthy. Like what I usually aim for is a 2 to 3% click-through rate all and a 1.5%-ish outbound click-through rate. I'm like way above that in terms of stats right here. So what that tells me is like creatives, very engaging, very like they do their job of getting clicks through the door. Now, first and biggest sort of pain point I see on this account is the following. I have 4,200 landing page views for 78,000 link clicks, which there's a very big drop off between the two. Now, you'll get to see it in a second because I've already looked through this account. That's because they're sending traffic to a sort of middleman landing page, if you want, an advertorial in this case. So I'll get back to that in a little bit. Now, landing page views to add to cart. So right here, we have give or take about 25% or so of people coming from the ads that land on the actual landing page, adding to cart, super healthy. Usually we would want to optimize for a 10% or more add to cart ratio to landing page views. Add to cart to checkout, about 40%, a little low. Usually we want to be closer to 50 to 70%, not too alarming, but a little low. Now, second sort of pain point or bottleneck right here, checkout to purchases. Only about a 25% of people who check out end up making a purchase. So that's super low. Usually we want to be at, again, very similar to your add to cart to checkout ratio, another like 50 to 70% roughly of your checkouts should end up making a purchase. And so Right here, that leaves us with 23,000 euros in ad spend, 29,000 euros in purchase conversion value on this account for the last 30 days for a 1.25 ROAS. Now, if I keep on going right here, you can actually see that we're at 79% hook rate. Most of the ads on this account, by the way, are video ads. Super, super strong hook rate. In fact, if I even look into, because there's two other campaigns right here that somewhat tanked the account results. Now, the campaigns that really got most of the spend and the scale in the last 30 or so days, or these ones at the top, 75 to 86% of a hook rate, which is honestly great. It means like that the ads are hooking people for a fact. Now, hold rate, a little low. I'm usually not too alarmed in terms of a lower hold rate if my hook rate and my click-through rate are somewhat high. Because the truth is the following. If someone does not even pay attention to the first 3 seconds of an ad, chances are they're not even going to care about the rest of the ad, right? So like if you've lost them here, you for sure have lost them throughout the rest of the ad and they for sure won't click. Okay, there's no chance that in 3 seconds you've made a point so interesting that people want to click. But the truth is, if an ad is 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute long, right? Does somebody need that long in order to make a decision to click? No, right? If the hook is strong enough, if the hook pulls somebody strong enough, they might need 2 to 3 more seconds after the hook to just get a good grasp of like, what is this about? And it might be so interesting that they end up clicking. And so hold rate, I'm usually not too worried about it unless like my hook rate is horrible and or if my click-through rate is like bad. So as an example, if I had a great hook rate, but a very bad click-through rate, I'd probably say, well, look, my ad is like super clickbaity, but I'm either pissing people off or the rest of the ad after the hook is just not engaging enough. Okay. So going back to that right here, conversion rate on the website, 3.47%. A little low coming from the ads. Again, this is not just Shopify conversion rate. This is like purely ad conversion rate. Usually we want to be higher than that. You'd want to be closer to like a 5% or so straight from ads with it. AOV 204 euros right here, which is again super healthy in terms of an AOV. So going back to it, I'm like, okay, conversion rate is an issue, but before I even say a conversion rate is an issue, I mean, the true issue right here is going back to earlier, it's my drop off between checkouts and purchases. But even bigger than that, it's the fact that if we do the math, and I recall I did that before starting to record, I would like to say it's something along the lines of 6% carry through only. So if I come right here, there you go. It's about 5.3% of people who click on the first page and end up on this advertorial, which I'll show you in a second, end up then on the actual product page. Very low, okay? Very, very low. So if you're used to this space, then you might notice as low. If not, then I'll kind of tell you what my benchmarks are, which usually for like a carry through between an advertorial or a listicle and a product page, like a bad ad would be below 20%. An okay ad would be like 20 to 25%. And a very good, and I say ad, I mean more landing page here. I mean advertorial / listicle. A good listicle or advertorial is going to convert at about 25% or more, okay? So if you can get 25% of the traffic, which lands on a middleman page that I call, so again, an advertorial or a listicle, if you get at least 25% of this traffic on the following step, then you're doing a good job. And I say like 25% honestly is even conservative. Like I've seen 40, 45%. Of traffic on an advertorial or listicle, then going to a product page. Or else what's happening is that you just end up like wasting a lot of traffic because like all these people were initially interested, but it just means that whatever was in the article or advertorial wasn't interesting enough to then get them on the product page. So if I now go to the ads and I go right here on the right, and what I typically do is whenever looking into the ads in themselves, I filter by spend. I use spend as the biggest indicator of success from Meta. If an ad is not getting a lot of ad spend, probably simply means that Meta doesn't favor this ad, doesn't think it's really highly scalable. So I'll look at the spend to ROAS ratio. Right here, this clearly is, I mean, you can see I have got like 2 main ads. You know, this ad is reused a gazillion times right here, but basically 2 main core ads. So if I had a preview on those ads right here and I go and check what the ad actually looks like. So we're going to take a look at it right here. So first of all, you might notice at the top right here that the name of the page actually is not the name of the client. So in fact, this is not the name of the shop that we're sending people to. So this is like a masked blog, which is perfect, okay? When you're doing top of funnel advertising or when you're sending traffic to again, a middleman page, you might want to advertise from a page that is not the brand's name. It's like a fake blog, if you want to, like a fake news site with it. Very common in the affiliate world, as an example. So here we have this page at the top. Then want to combat wrinkles with the latest tech. We've ranked the top 5 LED masks from 24 tested brands. See 2023's best.
Real quick, my creative editing team at the ad agency uses this brand new tool called Submagic, which helps us to edit video ads much faster, utilizing AI to add captions to our videos, automatically add relevant B-roll, or cut longer form VSLs and video ads we make into shorter clips. So with that said, check out a link in the description down below to try Submagic today and use code Lalonde for 10% off.
Okay, so a couple of things right here. Now, why do you think this gets clicks but might not be converting as much? Well, let's go on the page itself, okay? So, a bit of a discrepancy, first of all. We spent the last 3 months testing the best-selling light therapy mask, and here we're saying 2023. This is 2 years ago. So, people might click, but then once they're on the website, they might be like, oh shit, 2023? Right? So, already there, a little bit of doubt in somebody's mind, okay? Now, these ads right here, as you can see, if I take a look at the start of the ad, one in their 50s love these anti-aging and skin tightening masks. So we're definitely talking about someone who's very solution aware, maybe even product aware at this point. Okay, so we're talking about someone who's a little more aware right here because we're naming the product, honestly, from the start. But we're also naming the 2 issues as to why someone might want to be getting that. So let's keep going, right? So we keep watching that. This is a kind of a, this is an interesting also demo of the product right at the start. So product demonstration is the hook clip. And in here, woman in their 50s, so calling out the audience, they love this product because of these 2 benefits. So honestly, I would even assume we're product aware at this point. So we tested 25 at home, product name, again, showing product over and over again. And then if I then end up on the actual landing page right here, I have right here, we're talking about different skin issues at the start right here. We tested a lot of different masks and then so on and so forth, okay? So we have one right here, we have another one right there, another one right here, another one right there, some comments at the bottom, and then a CTA here at the bottom. Why is it that someone might have clicked on the ad, but may not then click on the actual CTA button right here or on the other page? Well, number one, it could be an awareness level or like a sophistication stage mismatch. So I'll give you an example. Usually, in my case, in my experience, advertorials or listicles end up working better when the audience is a little less aware. So if we're going to be advertising for someone who is, as an example, like unaware to solution aware, usually an advertorial listicle is best for this audience. Because what ends up happening, and you might have noticed that right here, and this is the case with most of the ads on this account. Look, they're 21 seconds long, okay? Most of the ads, and I could show you now, let's say the second best performing ad that I brought up earlier right here. So if I go right there and load this one up, right here, 22 seconds, okay? So most ads are about 20 seconds long. Very, very short ads, okay? And if you look at it again, there are ads that are typically with like just a very kind of clickbaity hook, something that's like kind of sensational or like or something like that, right? So hence why this in itself, framed as a blog, or framing this as a review, very sort of clickbaity, like, oh my God, type of ad. So they get clicks, of course, okay? Now, the thing is, in each of these, we're usually talking straight about the product. And so the first question to ask yourself is, do these people even need a middleman page, right? Because if they click so much on a product-aware ad, do they need to have an advertorial? Because usually what ends up happening is the shorter of an ad you have, the more the landing page needs to do the selling, which totally makes sense. Like when you have an advertorial, okay, or a listicle, usually the ads paired with this page that works the best are ads that are a little shorter. So 15 to 20, 30 seconds max. Whereas if you're sending straight to a product page and you are dealing, let's say, with a slightly less aware audience, as I was speaking about earlier, like unaware to solution aware, you might want to have a longer video ad. So you might want to have something that's like at least a minute and 30, even 2 or 3 minutes that you can go up to. Because you have to like split the education. Like if you're going straight to a product page, you're selling the product. Once somebody ends up on the actual landing page, like they're looking to buy the product. So you have to do more education on the front, or education. And I put that in big quotes because if you educate too much, then you end up not selling. So Nonetheless, you have to speak more to the prospect on the ad side. Whereas if you're sending them to a middleman page right here, you got to be very short and punchy just to get somebody's interest into clicking from the ad. And then you do more of the selling and the convincing on the actual landing page. But now right here, when I look at it, I would have to assume that if this is not getting me the clicks that I want in order to go to my product page, is I'm losing people's interest. Somewhere on this page, I'm losing people's interest. And again, it's either the copy's not good, 2, it doesn't look legit, 3, there's a mismatch once again between the awareness that I have right here and the one in my ad. I'm advertising product aware, and here I'm doing like a full-on product comparison, right? So is this matching? I don't know. You tell me, right? And so what I highlighted to the client right here as a first point, I was like, look, right here, I think your ads are super engaging. I probably wouldn't even touch your creatives to start. I would focus on this page. Like, this is where you're sending all your traffic to. Fix this page. Do copywriting tests. I would not try and move the buttons and the elements, this and that. I would purely focus on copywriting testing right here. I would test like A/B variations of different headlines, full-on different copy on the landing page, but the same exact images, and then just essentially do CRO on this page, but copywriting-oriented CRO. And by CRO here, I mean conversion rate optimization. So again, optimizing the conversion rate of this page. So we have a very long way to go. Okay, this right now, like again, this is a major bottleneck. Like 6% is or 5% is unacceptable. You know, we should be at least 5 times this conversion rate. We need to go for like a 500% increase in conversion rate on this landing page in order to just be at like industry average. Okay, so this needs a lot of work on this landing page. So I was like, client, this is step 1. You need to focus on this. Now, step 2 was the actual product page itself, which I'm not going to go to out of privacy for this client, but I did give them advice because going back to what we brought up earlier, if you go back at the bottom right here, only 25% of people who check out end up making a purchase, which tells me one of two things. It's either that the traffic landing on my product page is not really qualified as much. So the people that I send from this page right here, they're like window shopping. Okay, they're window shopping, they're adding to cart, yeah, they're starting a checkout, but there's no intent. They never intended to actually purchase. Or it is something through the actual checkout process. So a surprise shipping fee, not enough social proof on the checkout page, perhaps a mismatch between the front end where you said it was going to be a guarantee or whatever, and this guarantee is not reiterated on the checkout page, so on and so forth. And so to conclude this audit in terms of priority, there will only be 2 things I would fix. The number 1 is this page right here. You either change it completely, change the advertorial entirely, or you A/B test it right here. And then second, you A/B test the product page. And third, I even told the client, I was like, look, if I look back into your ads and I go into the CPMs, you can clearly tell that your US market is more competitive. This audience might be a little more sophisticated and perhaps even they're more aware of what the product is and the claims that they've seen in the market. So have you tried sending this traffic straight to a product page? And he was like, no, I've only been sending I started in the UK. I wanted to expand to the US and to France. So I've just been using the same exact funnel. I just got it translated. I was like, well, you have to keep in mind that other markets are not going to be the exact same awareness level and more specifically sophistication as your main market. So you might also have to test sending them straight to a product page right here, which means you will definitely have to also work on your conversion rate optimization on your core product page because you haven't really yet sent direct traffic to it. And so now if you made it this far in this video and you are an e-commerce brand or info product business wanting to work with a paid ads partner on Meta, Google, or TikTok, check out the first link in the description down below to book in a call with myself and the team at paidadvertising.com. And on that note, if you want to work one-on-one with me, I invite you to join my Ad Engine Inner Circle, where you and I are going to have 2 one-on-one monthly calls. You're going to be able to see all of my SOPs in terms of how I run ads. Text me anytime you want to have me review your business. And so that's going to be the second link in the description down below. On that note, I'm going to wish you an amazing day. Check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce and info product marketing tips, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.